Intakes between naturally aspirated and supercharged or boosted cars are a little different, especially with turbocharged cars. On a naturally aspirated car, your primary concern is getting the coldest, densest air possible. On a boosted car, especially a turbo car, it doesn't matter really because you're going to compress the air, and when you compress something it gets hotter. Same reason why you like decompress a, I don't know, a spray bottle, or like fill a lighter, the bottle gets colder because it decompresses. So it's a law of nature, when you compress something it gets hotter. So the primary design goal of getting cold air doesn't really matter anymore. It doesn't really apply, it doesn't help. And so that changes how you design intakes and how you think about intakes, because before you really wanted the coldest possible air, right? Now what you can do is you want the turbo to have the easiest time getting that air to the engine, because the easier it is for the turbo to work, basically the higher in the RPM range it can work. And what that means is you have more torque higher up in the RPM range. Torque times RPM divided by 52 equals horsepower. And if you have higher power, higher torque at higher RPMs, you're going to have more horsepower. And so in a turbocharged engine where you're compressing the air and then you're intercooling it later, usually the design goal of having fresh, crisp outside air isn't, really a top priority, because you have to work hard to pull the air in from the outside. You have to work hard to pull it through the medium. So pulling air through a tube is working, okay? And when you are able to just have a shorter section of tube, you're going to have, the turbo is going to have an easier time. So I would always recommend using filters on a street car. I think they're helpful. Some people will just run kind of like a velocity cone or stack or whatever with like a little filter guard, a turbo guard. And, that's probably, great for racing. So, ideally you want the turbo to be able to take in as much air as possible, as smooth as possible. So insofar as your air intake can be designed around that parameter, that's really what's ideal for designing an intake for a turbocharged car.